on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Hurt Business Podcast. My name is Faris Sharari, and today I have the pleasure of being joined by the WBC new national Muay Thai champ, Mr. Ahmad, the Golden Boy, Ibrahim.
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for having me, man. It's my honor to be here.
I appreciate that, man. And we see the gold on your shoulder as we speak. How's that? How's that feeling? Just carrying that bad boy around everywhere you go.
Alhamdulillah, it feels unreal sometimes. Sometimes I wake up and I'm like, oh my God, I won. I can still have moments where it's still fresh, you know?
Yeah, I bet. And do you sleep with the belt as well, or do you
I
tuck it in
I
at night?
I do in fact sleep right next to it. I take it to work with me. I do it all.
You know, you're the WBC champ, man. You should be carrying that shit around everywhere you go.
Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. Ahmed, talk about that night. It was about a week ago, right? Would you say about a week, 10
Yeah,
days?
a week from yesterday.
Nice. So tell me about the night. Was it here in the States or were you?
It was in the States. It was in California. It was actually my first fight in the last 3 years in America.
Wow.
Before that, I've been just overseas fighting everywhere else besides America, just due to lack of opportunity here.
Mm-hmm.
But I ended up fighting at WCK in Burbank, California. And those who don't know me, this belt has been all I've talked about since I was like 13 or 12.
Wow.
So it was a pretty emotional day. The last 2 months was very stressful. Just understanding the fact that the caliber of what I'm about to do. Like, I just didn't know honestly how I would cope with myself if I didn't win. Like everything I wanted is right there. Like, Ahmed, do not fumble this bag. Like, so every day training, running, repetition, the mental stress that people don't see that fighters have to go through for just to look out in the crowd all the way in the West Coast. I'm from Philadelphia, man. And to just look out in the crowd and see a whole stand of my family supporters there in California, and to win and the way I did it, it was one of my best performances for this. It just, everything was aligned. SubhanAllah. It's just perfect.
Perfect. Yeah, preparation met opportunity, huh?
Yeah, man, it was insane. The night of the weigh-in was a little bit interesting. I was throwing up. There's so many emotions, man. It was a lot, man. It was a lot.
I bet. So you were throwing up from the weight cut, was it, or just like the overwhelming emotions and all that went into it?
I'm gonna be honest, I was kind of an idiot. I cut a lot of weight, which is normal for fighters, okay? And when you cut a lot of weight, you're supposed to rehydrate a certain way, eat certain things. And I had that. This was my 49th fight, so I know better. But I was at Olive Garden, and the fried calamari just looked so good. You're not supposed to eat seafood after a weigh-in because your body, it's not hungry. It needs food. It's like a difference. You have to put certain things in your body.
Right.
Or reject it, because you're on starvation mode. Your body's like, you can't just go eat ice cream. Like, you know what I mean? You have to eat certain things. And the calamari just honestly just looked so good. And I just don't. And we walked back to the hotel so we could digest a little bit. And I was throwing up the whole way home.
Wow.
Just to like 2 a.m., just throwing up. And then I was freaking out. And I was like, oh my God, how am I going to fight? And literally everything I ate and drank from the weigh-in was out of my body already because I threw everything up.
Wow. And did you eat again before the fight?
I woke up the next day and I was completely fine. So I guess I threw up all like the shit that I wasn't supposed to have in my body. I don't regret it. The calamari was awesome. I don't regret it. But like, imagine like the night before the big your life, you're sitting over your toilet hotel in California throwing up.
Oh man.
I was, my God, what's gonna happen tomorrow? Like, it's gonna be in the morning, like,
the stress was probably nuts.
I woke up and went to breakfast, had a normal, everything was good.
Good, man. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah, it worked out for you, bro. Because otherwise, imagine if calamaris were to blame for you not having that piece of gold.
In from 6 p.m. that Friday to the fight, I was like 140. So I put on like 15 pounds.
Wow.
Which is pretty.
Yeah, that's a lot of weight. You fight at 125, is it? Or
yeah, 25. But this fight was at 26, but I weighed in at 124.
Wow. So you made it. Alhamdulillah.
Yep.
So a second ago, you were talking about the mental preparation it takes to fight a caliber fight that you did last weekend. Talk about like all the things that you needed to tell yourself and just to put yourself in the proper state of mind to step in the ring and perform at your best.
Um, well, every fight is important, given that, like, no offense to other sports, it's not basketball, it's not soccer. Like, you can get hurt any sport, but you're literally signing the chance to die. Like,
Mm-hmm.
like there's people who die in the ring,
Yeah.
from trauma, from head punches to the head. So, given that, every fight automatically is a big deal because this is your life on the line. I mean, they're going to take your head off, or you're going to take my head off. One of us is going down. So, just given that aspect of the fight game, every fight is important. But with this fight, and I train hard for every fight. I'm very disciplined, very, 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 very disciplined. You look at my Instagram now, I'm eating a bunch of food. Like, I'm not fighting, I'm a normal person. But when I'm fighting, I'm very disciplined with my mouth. But this fight specifically was just, I had to talk to myself a lot. Like, this belt, I took a picture of a Google and I put it as my background on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I like to motivate myself when I go to sleep. I want to wake up motivated. I want to see this. I want, like, if I ever, because this is my daily routine. Okay, it's pretty strict. Like, everything has to go perfect on time for it to work. So I wake up at 5 a.m. I go run 5 miles. I come home. I make my breakfast. I go right to work from 4 to 8. I'm sorry, from 8 to 4. I'm a gym teacher at a school, a PE teacher.
Sweet.
Before I go to work, I come home. I run again 3 miles. I go to training. I run another 2 miles. I train. I get home at 10 o'clock. Time to go to sleep. Do it again the next day.
So 10 miles a day.
10 miles a day. So every
Wow.
day for 2 months, I was running 10 miles a day. And anything in life, if you're doing the same exact thing over and over and over and over and over, it gets a little tedious mentally. Like, that repetition, it's raw, it's stressful, it's mentally demanding. Like, to eat the same exact food
Mm-hmm.
day at the same exact time, to see the same exact faces, to say no to plans, say no to family, say no to errands. Like, I can't do anything during my week unless it's Sunday. Like, everything I have to do with the week, I do Sunday, and Sunday's the day I'm supposed to, like, chill. So it's tedious. And there was a lot of days where I was just like, it's okay, it's gonna be worth it. You don't know what he's doing. You don't know if he's up running. You don't know if
Mm-hmm.
he's going through shit. You don't know if he's a family man. You can't let him outwork you. I can't let him take this from me. My last fight before this was a title fight, but it wasn't for this belt. It was for another belt. And I lost, but I thought I won. But it wasn't like one of those fights where I was just like, oh, I 100% won. Like, I thought I won, but I could see why they gave it to the other guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Just depends
Like,
on the judging, really.
yeah, like, it depends on how you're scoring the fight. I
Mm-hmm.
thought I stand by that, but I'm like, man, if I did a little bit more, I would have been able to persuade their eyes. So I put that loss on myself, and I was telling myself, I can't do that with this belt. I don't want to leave the ring. Like, fuck, I should have. Maybe if I did this, he was the champ. And anyone knows, and if you don't know, if you want to beat the champ, you got to beat the champ. Like, you can't go to someone's hometown and win by this much. Like, it
Right.
does not how it goes. Like, he
Yeah.
has hundreds of tickets. The judges are comfortable with him. Everyone knows him. Like, nobody gives a fuck about me. Like, sorry for my language, but,
No,
like,
it's okay.
those kids, no one cares about me. Like, they don't know me. They don't respect me. Like, if I want to go there and take this belt, I gotta go and I gotta be in this dude's face. I gotta take that shit. I gotta put a stamp on a cherry on top. So just thinking of that every day, and, like, the thought of not performing at my capability or, like, whatever, it was just eating me alive, and it was just stressful. So I definitely overtrained. I did
Mm-hmm.
so much more than I needed to. It was all worth it. Every bit of it, man. Every bit of it.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And clearly, because you have the gold on your shoulder, man. You won convincingly. You did enough to persuade the judges and everybody in the arena that you did enough.
Yeah.
Um, so we heard you mentally strong. We heard you have a strict training regimen. Now that you're a champ, can you talk about what's next now? Do you want to go on and defend the belt? Do you want to make a transition into another form of combat?
So I always told myself if I got this belt, I just wouldn't care about anything else ever again. And now that I got the belt, I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm that guy. Like people like me now, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm a hunter. Now I'm the hunted. Like, so I know I got a chip on my shoulder. I always wanted to do MMA, but like something about the sport, I just can't click with me. I wrestled for 4 years and I coached for years in wrestling. So I could definitely make that transition. But if you ever watch the Muay Thai fight, there's so much culture involved and so much respect and tradition that they don't have in MMA. That's what I fell in love with Muay Thai.
Mhm.
Like you rarely see talking shit. You rarely see beef or like dirty shots or like there's just so much culture and respect in Muay Thai. That's what draws me to it. So maybe I'll fight MMA one day. And I'm not saying every MMA fighter is an asshole or like disrespectful.
Right.
Don't get, but like there's just MMA is more brutal and more grueling, just like Muay Thai. But Muay Thai is grueling with culture. It's just easy to fall in love with. So there's a chance I'd go into Muay Thai or go into MMA. I'm not against it. It's definitely a possibility in my head. But as of right now, my next plan is not to defend it right now. You know, the guy had it for like 3 years. Like they can
Wow.
relax.
Yeah.
I only defended it twice. So I don't want anyone yelling at me to defend this belt like next week. Like
Right, right.
soak it up. But as of right now, my next fight is in December in Thailand. I am a part of the USA team. So whenever they travel for tournaments, I go represent my weight class. So I just found this out yesterday, actually. It's like literally yesterday I found out
Wow.
that,
So this is news to everybody.
yeah, this is news to me. Shit. Gotta come up with it. But yeah, I'm going to go to Thailand in December for like a week for a tournament and compete against the best people around the world.
Sweet.
Which I've been a part of the USA team, but since COVID happened, everything kind of like stopped. You can't. It's hard to have all those many countries in one room with
Right.
COVID.
Yeah.
Things are starting to get back up. So right now, that's my next thing. Only downside is when you fight for the USA team when you do these international tournaments, it's Olympic rules, and the Olympic rules sadly cannot have facial hair.
Interesting. Really?
So if you ever go to my Instagram and you see like my highlights, some of those are me without a beard.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was watching one actually this afternoon and I almost didn't recognize you without the
I
beard.
look completely different. Like I
Yeah.
look, what you know what I mean? Just like a
Yeah.
random. I don't look like a Palestinian, like you know.
Yeah, the beard is
So
usually like it's usually the thing to tell you like I'm not a white boy. I'm from I
I'm
got some
Arab.
culture. Yeah, yeah. Same here, bro. I haven't shaved my beard maybe in like 5 years.
2019 is when I got invited to the team, and that
Uh-huh.
was saved in 4 years.
Wow.
So everybody was just like, funny story. I came home from the barbershop after I shaved, and my grandma was at my house for my niece's birthday party. And I was cutting weight. So like when I cut weight, like the week of my fight, I'm a little bit dead. I don't like to talk there, you know.
Yeah.
And I sit down and my grandma speaking in Arabic, she's like, "Mean how the guy jumpy so close to me. Like, who's this guy sitting?" And I'm looking at her, this woman. She's talking shit about me. Doesn't even know it's me. She's like, this white there next to me. I'm like, Detta, it's Ahmad.
Yeah.
Like my family didn't, it's hilarious.
Yeah, man. That's what goes to show that that beard is important.
It changes me.
Yeah. So you got to chop it when you go to Thailand, huh? Not
Yeah, I
looking
got
forward to that.
like not even a stubble, nothing. It has to be straight.
Damn. Damn, that's not cool. I thought you were gonna say something in terms of like the fighting was different.
No, I like come with like a note, and they were like, "Do you know like 90% of Thais are Muslim and they have to shave? Like, good luck." And I was
Yeah,
like, "Shit, it's
yeah,
true.
yeah. Damn, I didn't know that, man. That kind of stinks.
Sucks, man."
Yeah, but have you competed in Thailand before? That's kind of like
Yeah,
the mecca of Muay Thai.
yeah. 2019, I went there twice for 2 months, and I was supposed to go every year for a couple months at a time, but then COVID happened, and then I needed to get a real job and like
Yeah,
support and pay bills and take care of my car payments and all that shit.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
But uh, I had my dream car at a young age.
Interesting.
I was in a good situation at the time financially. I was making good money, and I bought my dream car, and I wanted to pursue fighting more and just say, screw it. I'm young. I have no kids. At the time, I was an Uber driver
Mm-hmm.
and like side hustle that I was really good at. So I didn't have like a boss. I could just leave if I wanted to. So I was like, screw this. I sold my dream car for like 12,000.
Wow.
I'll get all the money and go to Thailand. And when the money was done, I'll come back. And then COVID happened after I sold the car. And then the
Wow.
border opened and I waited like 6 months without a car, like hoping it would open.
Shit. So you never made it to
I,
Thailand?
I was never able to go. And then I had to get a job, and now I have a job, and I'm like, I can't just leave, like I
Yeah.
right now, like I have a good job. So I'm like, it's a little bit hard, like I don't even know how I'm gonna call off for like a week and a half.
Yeah. At this
It is
point.
really,
Yeah. But I'm sure you're excited to go to Thailand. It's been 2
yeah,
years, you've probably been waiting.
I love it there. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. I recommend it to anybody.
Yeah.
Amazing. There's so many Muslims there too.
Really?
Catches me off guard. There's like
I didn't know that.
hijabis just walking everywhere in like proper hijab, like in 130-degree weather, like subhanallah.
MashaAllah. Yeah.
Masjids, you hear the adhan, like it's crazy over there. I never knew that. There's halal food everywhere you go. Like
Wow.
completely,
Thailand is like that, huh?
I didn't know. I didn't expect it first time I went.
Yeah, me neither. I hear Thailand, I always think of like Muay Thai and like you know, these
People
guys
there are
always.
so nice. Like it's definitely like dirty. The streets are like disgusting, but like the people and the food is just amazing.
Yeah, that's usually the thing to motivate me to go somewhere. Is food's good, people are nice, and it's like, what else do you need?
Bro, me and you right now, if we go out to eat, like it'll be like $2 for a whole meal. Like
Yeah, cheap too, huh?
every only thing that's the same is name brand. Nike, Gucci,
Mm,
Louis, does all that stuff is you transfer the currency, it's the same exact thing. But
interesting.
food, like just life,
Cheaper.
Uber, like an hour Uber is probably like $5.
Wow.
It's
Damn.
amazing.
So
For like
11, 12,000 would have lasted you a grip down there, huh?
a lot of time, like maybe
Yeah.
six.
Wow, that's crazy. Well, I just had a curiosity. What was your dream car?
I had an A4 S line.
Okay. An
That
Audi, huh?
that age, that's a car I did not need. Like that was like I was 20, 24. Like I didn't need that, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
yeah.
I have it at that age. I was, I was just that guy. But then so that decided to just chase my dreams, and then when COVID happened.
Yeah, man. COVID ruined a lot of things, but that's courageous of you to sell your car, kind of take the opportunity when you thought of one. That's commendable, man.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah, man. So are you competing this December in Thailand? You'll be
Yeah,
fighting?
I'm competing. Yeah. So the way that goes is you lose, you're out.
Tournament style.
Yeah, it's a tournament. It depends on who. Like, there's a bracket. When we get there, we'll figure it out.
Hmm.
Um, the tough countries at my weight, placing literally anything at my weight is a big deal. My weight is the hardest weight overseas. 125 is like killers, like killers.
Interesting. Yeah.
Both tournaments I went to, I placed. The first one I got bronze, and the second time I went to the tournament in against Spanish countries, I got gold. So this is world. So this is everybody. This
Damn.
is Hispanic countries, Asian countries, Arab countries. There's a team Palestine. Like every
Hmm.
country goes. You know. So the countries that are tough are Russia, Thailand, Belarus, Peru, and it just depends on who you get matched up with. You
Yeah.
lose, but you have to weigh in every single day. The way the tournament goes is you weigh in, you eat, you fight, you cut weight for the next day.
So you fight every day?
Every day you fight, maybe even twice,
Wow. Damn.
and you have to weigh in the next day. So everything you ate, you have to lose it now
Hmm.
in an allowance.
Wow.
So every day is it's a hard tournament, it's a hard process.
It sounds super strict. Is this the first tournament style like that you're competing in, or is this
So I've been on the team for about 2 years now.
sweet? And can you talk about your experience in tournaments like this? Kind of the mental and physical
Uh,
preparation and
I thought I was good till I went to these tournaments,
yeah.
and I saw how good everyone else is, and it was very humbling.
Hmm.
First time I went to the tournament, it was in Seoul, Korea, and it wasn't Worlds, but there was a lot of countries there, you know. And supposedly the tournament was supposed to be an easy one to like as like a stepping stool for new athletes to get involved into the team. I was a new athlete. They were like, go to the Korea one. It's not that crazy of a tournament. We go and all the top countries are there. So it was not a stepping stool, you know.
Yeah,
In
it's the
Russia,
real
one
deal.
that my weight were there. And I seen how good everyone is. I was like, shit, like this is humbling. And I won. I got gold. I got bronze.
Wow.
It was a great,
Mashallah.
you know. And then a couple months later, I went to Colombia for the Spanish tournament. America, Canada, and a bunch of Spanish countries: Peru, Brazil, Argentina, Colombia, a bunch of countries, and I got gold there. And then COVID happened, so all the tournaments stopped. And this is the first tournament back, and this is going to be Worlds, so this is a big deal.
Yeah, this is like all the world's top class is coming out to fight you.
Best athletes, and there's no amateur and no pro.
Wow.
So everyone is the same. So everyone is just good. Like,
yeah. The WBC belt will be staying at home, right? That won't be in the mix at all.
This is coming. This is staying here.
Yeah.
Staying here.
Good, man. Good. And just to change the topic a little bit, I noticed that you had a pretty extensive amateur career. If you can just talk about, the 30-ish fights that you had there and kind of what it meant for your professional career.
Yeah, my amateur. I always say this. I don't think I'm talented, and I stand by that. I think talented people are the people when you walk into a room and you're like, that's the guy. That guy's gifted. That guy's a killer. I was never like that. I lost my first 3 fights. I lost my first 4 wrestling matches. I lost my pro debut. I was never undefeated. I was never like the one, you know what I mean? Like even as I was when I was young, when I started, I was the worst one in my whole family. I was the one who didn't want to train. I was the one who would hide under my bed. I was fat. I had asthma. Like I was bullied. Like I was not the one that was gonna make it, you know?
Right.
And after my 3rd loss, I don't know what happened. I just clicked. And then I went like 3 or 4 years without losing.
Wow.
And if you look at my junior fights compared to my adult fights, I was a completely different person. You know, when I was younger, and most of my fights were like between 100 pounds and 110. I was a small kid, and 110-pound kid training with grown-ass men. I didn't care what any of my opponents at that weight had to offer me. Like I was 105 pounds training with professional adults. Like, kid, what the hell is he gonna? You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, and the adults, they hit me. They would beat my ass. I used to go home with black eyes as a child. So I was like, these kids have nothing like they can do to me that won't, you know. So if you look at my fights when I was a kid, I had my hands down, just supreme confidence, you know. And then I turned 18, and as I turned into an adult with 20 fights, so I was automatically an advanced adult. So I didn't get introduced into the adult division in a small way. I got introduced to the adult division to like right away fighting the greatest adults there is as amateurs. I stopped fighting kids when I was 16. When I was 16, I couldn't fight kids no more because no kids wanted to fight me. So I had to start fighting adults at 16 years old. And when I turned 18, my style started to change a little bit, more like preservative, more cautious. You know, grown men, they hit a lot harder, you know?
Yeah, 18, they do.
Like when I was 16, I fought like a 38-year-old. Like I was already fighting adults, you know? Crazy. And I went 24-6 as an amateur. And as an amateur, I had, I think, 14 belts, 13 belts.
Wow, okay.
And when you turn pro, all those belts, they're nothing. You know what I mean? They're nothing but a memory now because I'm pro and I can't defend them. So they're all vacant and people got them now. But I had 13 titles, turned pro, lost my pro debut. This close fight, I thought I won. But again, I could see why they gave it to him, you know? And then I started killing it again. And then I had 2 bad losses. Went to like the craziest depression I ever had in my life and got myself out of it. went to Thailand,
Mm.
fell in love, and now we're here.
Beautiful, man. What a story that is. And what's your professional record as of right now?
13-6.
13-6. Wow. You're putting together a pretty good resume, bro, for somebody who said that never been the person that's been scared, amongst
Mm-hmm.
everybody in the room. People have never pointed you out as the one to be scared of. And I think now with that belt on your shoulder, you're definitely probably
Yes, I'm saying,
scaring people away. What's that?
gotta put some respect on my name. I've been
Yeah.
fighting 2010. That's almost 12 years.
Wow, yeah, man. It's a while.
A
And
long time.
has it always been fighting for you? Has that been always your favorite sport, kind of favorite
Uh,
hobby to do, or is there anything else?
in wrestling, but I don't know if you're familiar with wrestling. But once you graduate high school, if you don't go to college, wrestling, there's just no opportunities to wrestle.
Right, right,
You know,
right.
coached at my high school to give back, and COVID happened, stopped coaching, had to get a job. But wrestling, I play ball, like stupid stuff with my friends, like
Right.
good at anything. I just
Hmm.
play for, you know what I mean? I can't talk shit, like I'm horrible, I'm ass. But I do it for fun. I play games. I watch a lot of anime. I'm a super
Nice.
extremely
Yeah, huge anime guy.
huge weeb, complete
Yeah,
nerd.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'll play Call of Duty, just anything, man. I just most of my day is training though, because
Yeah,
work. I wake up early, so I can't stay up late. So it's don't do much, man.
yeah. Training is probably very time consuming on your
It is,
schedule.
and training is a lot more fun when you're not fighting. So when I'm not fighting, I try to train because then you get to just enjoy it. You don't have to like
Yeah,
think kill you in like 4 weeks.
right. That's true. You don't have to. Are you still running 10 miles a day outside of camp, or is that just a camp
I
regimen?
first time on Friday. I only ran like 3. Like I'm
Yeah,
starting this week, but usually I run about like 4 to 5, not 10.
yeah. 4 or 5. That's still good, man.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah. Do you follow? Do you follow the UFC at all?
I don't, but I do. Like I know the big things. I
Yeah.
don't, I don't know like people's names.
You don't
I
know
just,
then. Yeah,
I
you
don't
just.
follow Thai. Like
What's that?
I don't even follow Muay Thai. Like
Yeah.
I'm just here. Like I don't. I only worry about people that I know. I always felt like a lot of people, and this is an unpopular opinion, I guess, but like with rappers, with artists, with musicians, fighters, soccer players, basketball players, and I don't know how you're gonna feel about this, but I feel like people are so quick to shout out and support people who don't even know them, but
Yeah.
then they support people in their own city. Like I have friends who take music seriously, like my friend Wahib Nassan. He's
Shout
like,
out.
and he raps about Palestine. This is an example,
Mm-hmm.
and people don't share his stuff or whatever, but then they'll go share Drake, which is cool. Drake is dope, but like Drake don't give a shit about you, bro. Like,
Yeah. 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 No,
you know,
I agree with that.
he will post UFC fighters who don't give two shits about them, but then they won't support local fighters. And then say, yo, like, why aren't you famous yet? Why aren't you a big deal? Like, oh, maybe if you guys
Right.
supported me, we would get there. Like this podcast right here. I don't even
Same
know. Like,
thing.
I don't know anything about you, Firas.
Yeah. 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 It
Like,
was
I got people will go and post or say no to the podcast just because it's not a big thing. But then they'll say yeah to someone who has 50,000 followers
right.
or like just to make it seem like it's cool. The way I am, man, I want to eat at a table, but I want you to eat at the table. I want my friends to eat at the table. I want everyone to eat at the table. If I see someone doing something positive, I'm gonna support it. I feel like nowadays people they say good job, congratulations, but like on the back they're like, oh my god, this, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah. Look at
people
this
don't really
guy.
want others eat. That you could, it's noticeable, bro. Like you see people post rappers all the time, or like fighters, or whatever, basketball players, but they won't support the person who lives down the street from their
Yeah.
own, But then when they make it, they want to be at the table with you. Don't make sense to me.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I think that's a phenomenal point. And if it's an unpopular one, I agree with you, man. I think people are so busy supporting like these super viral, super well-known characters in all these different fields, like you mentioned, and they don't really shout out the people on the surface level, like the Hurt Business
Yeah,
Podcast. like your friend who's rapping about the Palestine. Like it's all these things that if everybody poured their love into, it'll grow like instantly, you know. And I
I
always
remember,
tell people, support us before we're cool.
exactly, man. Like I remember everybody who buys a shirt off of me. I remember everybody who goes a little bit above a text message. I noticed these things, you know. And my friend the other day was like, bro, like bro, my Instagram has been blowing up since this fight. He's like, your Instagram is going crazy right now. I'm like, oh yeah, it goes crazy every time I win.
Yeah.
But when I lose, it's like no one really good.
Silence. Hmm.
You know, like with fighting, bro, this is by far no one could change my mind. This is the loneliest sport in the world. Fighting is so lonely. So when a fighter loses, give that fighter the same energy you would give if he won.
Hmm.
Because when you lose, you lose. Your team doesn't lose. You can't tag your boy in to come in. If you get knocked the fuck out, you got knocked out. Like
Hmm.
that's you. You got knocked out in front of your family, your mom, your dad, your loved ones, your brother, your sister, your wife. But if you were to win, everybody would have been, yo, you got it.
Love you.
Congratulations, bro. Like,
Hmm.
let's go out to eat. But if I lost, it would have been like, good job, get him next time. And that's it.
Yeah. Keep it
You know,
real, real big.
fighting,
Yeah.
bro, it's a lonely sport. It's a lonely sport.
Amen, man. It really is. And you're the only one at the end of the day who really steps in the ring. You know, whenever you're in there fighting,
But
performing, it's
right.
just Ahmed.
You know what I mean? I'm the one in there putting my life on the line. You guys are enjoying it. Like you guys.
Exactly. Exactly. Unfortunately, it's entertainment for us, but um you're really good at the sport, bro. So I don't see you dying in the ring. Knock on wood.
You know,
Inshallah, bro. Inshallah. But just we could top it off with this one. You're the Palestinian golden boy, a proud representative of Palestine, and I love that, man. I see you on Instagram at all these different functions and these different protest walks, grabbing the mic, being front center, spreading your message. So for the people on the Hurt Business podcast who maybe don't know anything about Palestine other than what the mainstream media tells them, what are one or two things that you wish everybody knew about the beautiful country of Palestine?
there's so many things. There's so whenever I talk about Palestine, I always start off by saying it's so simple. It's not complicated. It's like you hear words like anti-Semitism, anti-Semitic, complicated, two-state solution. It's not. That's just one thing. And I always tell people, if I tell you 1,000 facts, don't listen to me. Take what I said into consideration and go look it up yourself. It's Google's free. Like it's
Literally.
hard to find the truth, you know?
Hmm.
And people make it seem like it's religious things with Hamas, it's this, it's that, it's that, it's this. It's just about basic human rights. That's it. If you're a human being, you don't have to be Palestinian, you don't have to be Christian, you don't have to be Muslim. You just have to have a heart and imagine that it's your family. It's your brothers, your sisters. I'm not gonna talk much about what's going on. I want you to just, if you're reading this message, go look it up. And if you guys want, I'm always down for a healthy political debate. If you're a Zionist and you want to blow my phone up, I'm not going to respond to you. If you guys want more education on Palestine, feel free to message me and I can 100% send you articles and talk to you and discuss with you. But we chant for peace. We just want to free. We just want to live. I
Amen.
haven't been to my village since I was 2 years old. Like that's not a thing I should have to say. It's we chant for our peace, they chant for our death. There's videos on it. It's not complicated, you know. So from the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Amen, man. Amen. That's a good way to. One more question I wanted to ask about the topic of Palestine is as somebody who's a heavy advocate for obviously Palestine, what is the common misconceptions that you have to address?
That I'm anti-Semitic.
Okay. Yeah.
I have Jewish friends. I have like me being anti-Semitic. Like it doesn't anti-Semitism does not equal anti-Zionism. That's the one thing I always get. I'm anti-Semitic and I'm extreme. I've had fights where I was kicked out of my fight because of my shorts. Like
Wow.
I've been discriminated against multiple times because of my ethnicity and how I hold myself. But my coach always says, we're the voice of the voiceless. You know what I mean? Like they can't be heard. I have a platform. I'm gonna say something.
Amen.
I like it. That fucking sucks. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm not racist. I don't hate Jewish people. I don't hate Israelis. There's so many Israelis, Jews that were raised to believe a certain thing, and you can't blame them for that.
Mm-hmm.
But once I've opened up people's eyes and they're like, oh shit, 2 + 2 is 4. Like, you know what I mean? So that's one of the biggest misconceptions, that I'm anti-Semitic. I'm loud, I'm obnoxious, I shove Palestine in people's throats. I don't. I just speak the truth. And if you can't handle the truth, then
Stop listening.
I'll open the door for you, man. Like,
Yeah.
I can't, there's certain things you can't agree to disagree on. You like peanut butter, bro? Good shit. I like jelly. Like, we could be cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
You think killing Palestinian children in the hospital is okay? Like, I can't be cool with that. Yeah, a couple
Yeah.
Israelis died, but like that, you want to compare deaths where you're not gonna win. Like,
Yeah. And it's not
there's
even
something
close.
you can't agree to disagree on, and that's politics, especially the Palestinian occupation. If you're neutral, you're siding with them. If you're a two-state solution, you're siding with them. If you're zero conflict worthy, whatever, you're siding with them. If you're not pro-Palestinian on the Palestinian law and state, I'm not saying kick every single person out. I said a Palestinian state under Palestinian law, you're siding with Israel. There's no one can change my mind.
Yeah. And that's a fair thing to say, man. And I think that's a good way to end it off on the politic discussion. If you're interested in furthering that, please hit up Ahmed.
I'm
Uh,
down.
he's always down for the talks. Ahmed, I really appreciate you coming on my podcast, bro.
Awesome. So pleasure to meet you, man. What city are you
Yeah,
from?
same. I'm in
We gotta do
Boston.
this in person.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let's do it soon. I'm in Boston. I'm in Massachusetts.
That sounds super boring, but I'm so down.
Yeah, there's not much out here in Boston. Oh, Allah. There's a few nice cities, a few nice streets, but that's
Inshallah.
really it.
I love traveling different cities. It's awesome. I'll be there.
Yes, sir. And for the listeners, Ahmed, tell them where to find you. Tell them how to get a hold of you.
You guys feel free to follow my Instagram. Instagram is my most active platform. I tried TikTok. I just do it when I'm bored. But Instagram is the only thing I'm gonna actually shout out. It's Ahmed with the AHMAD_elite. That's my most active social media. So if you want to follow my journey, keep up with Palestine and things that I talk about, feel free to follow me, guys.
Yeah, please follow him. I'm gonna link everything down below, so it'll be a very easy direction to his pages. Give him a follow the Hurt Business, and join the ride. Thank you guys for listening.